5 months ago, I started an experiment using a trading bot to try to make passive income. My goal was to find a safe and stable way to produce passive income in crypto that came from real yields and not some sort of Ponzonomics. As you guys know, I run a lot of experiments. I try pretty much any idea out there that people claim is working just to test it and see if that's the case or not. And lots of these ideas end up being dead ends or failures or being 1 month wonders that work crazy good for 1 month only to flop the next. But this trading bot specifically has been insane. It's been running for 5 straight months and has consistently produced about $2,000 a month in income for me. This despite all the absolutely crazy things that have happened in crypto over the last 5 months, including the collapse of FTX and the massive market drop that came with that, which is certainly a pretty substantial stress test for this strategy and one that it passed with flying colors. In this video, I'm going to talk about my results with this strategy over the past 5 months, share the most recent results, and compare this bot strategy against some other bot strategies I've been experimenting with as well. And the bot that I'm talking about that's been working so well is of course what I refer to as the Ghost Tiger strategy. I've talked about this strategy before. I did an entire video sharing my 1 month results from this strategy, which were really good. In fact, my first month using this trading bot, I made $7,013.71. But back then I had quite a few reservations about this strategy, the biggest one being that I had only tested it for a month. And, as we've learned in past experiments, testing something for a month doesn't really mean jack squat. It could do really well for, 1 month and then the next month absolutely flop. The second reservation I had is that this strategy had never been stress tested. It had never been through a phase of the market where things were really bad, where prices went down bad. And of course, there's a ton of strategies that do really well when the market's going up that do really bad when the market's going down. So for me, until it had gone through a phase like that, it was a strategy that I couldn't fully trust. And because of these two things, at the time, I wasn't really ready to call this bot experiment a success. And fast forward to the second month of this strategy, the results ended up being not so great. I ended up losing $571 from the profits that I'd made the previous month. So month 1 was really good, and month 2 was not so good. And then month 3 ended up being really bad. During the third month, I again didn't make any money, and I lost an additional $3,500 from the profits I had made that first month. Which was odd to me because at the same time, the bot strategy on their dashboard said that the bot had made $13,000. But yet I was losing money and I didn't quite understand what was going on. And it was at this point that I figured out that the bot was taking the profits it was making trading and putting it into stables on the side. And I had somehow missed that the bot did this, and I ended up having over $10,000 in stable coins just sitting on the side that weren't even being traded. I didn't even know that I had. And all of this made me reassess how I was determining the profit for this strategy. Basically, the dashboard for this bot gives you a couple different metrics that you can use to determine your profitability with this bot. The first metric is your bot profit, and that said that I had made $13,000 in bot profit. The other metric is what they say is your total profit and loss. And this is actually a metric that since then they've ended up getting rid of because it was so confusing. And that was what I was using to see how much I had made. So instead, I chose a very simple method to account for my total profit and loss. Initially, I had deposited $90,545 into this strategy, but during month 2, because I didn't realize those stables were going off to the side, I withdrew by accident $4,000. So my total in the bot is $86,545. And going forward, to calculate my gains, I would very simply just take that $86,545 and subtract it from my current overall total, and the difference would be the total profit. So say originally I had put $1,000 in the bot, and today I have $1,200 in the bot, then my profit would be $200. It's really simple. This should be the metric that they're using on their site. I don't understand why they don't do that. So month 3, my total lifetime profit was at $6,699, or about $2,233 a month in profit if you divide that number by 3, because I've been running the bot for 3 months. Month 4 was right after FTX collapsed, and I was kind of nervous to see what the results would be because the market had taken such a massive hit during this collapse. But despite all that, month 4, I did end up making a really small profit. I made a little bit less than $300 month 4, bringing my overall total profit to $6,976 or $1,744 a month on average when you divide the total profit by 4. Which all of this brings us to today. Today it's been 5 months since I first started this bot strategy, and it's been about 2 months since the collapse of FTX. And total profit made over the last 5 months using this strategy despite the collapse of FTX has been an insane $12,347, which is $2,469 a month on average over a 5-month period, or about 3% monthly. To give you an idea of just how insane that is, if you had $40,000 making 3% monthly, you'd be making around $1,200 a month. So comparable to a rental property, only you have no expenses, you have no tenants, you have no repairs, and you have none of the other overhead and worries that come with having a rental property. And again, this is all despite during that same period, some of the worst crypto market news, some of the worst crypto market scandals in history happening during that same time period. Even despite that, this bot strategy has made over $12,000 over the last 5 months. And really quick, you're gonna wanna stick around until the end of this video because I'm gonna be comparing this strategy against some other bot strategies I've been testing as well, including an AI bot strategy using KuCoin's free bot strategy and a paid Astrobit bot strategy. Now, despite all this, I still think it's a little bit too early to say that this strategy is bulletproof. I'm definitely far more confident in this strategy than I was 5 months ago, and I'm far more confident knowing that it's gone through crazy market events like FTX collapse and, the whole big market leg down that we just went through. But I'd really like to see this strategy tested for an entire year before I can say I have my full confidence in this strategy. This strategy is amazing. This strategy does really well. I'd really like to see even a longer period of testing to really give it that extra boost of okay, because there's always things that you can't think of that you're like, it's worked good so far in the last 5 months, but maybe there's something that happens in the next 5 months or 7 months that I didn't anticipate or I didn't think of that has an adverse effect on this sort of strategy. On a final note, I have gotten a lot of people that have asked me repeatedly to share the settings for this strategy. And although I love this community, I feel like these settings are valuable. And I feel like there's something that I currently don't want to just give away and put out there publicly. I'm not sure how the strategy would perform if a ton of people were using the exact same settings and the exact same strategy. So currently, this is something that I'm keeping to myself. That being said, the platform that I use to build this strategy is called Bitsgap. I have an affiliate link in the description if you want to check it out. If you want to try to build your own strategy and build with your own settings and do your own thing, you are fully welcome to do that. It's really not rocket science, and plenty of people have built their own solid strategies using kind of similar setups. And if that's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description. Okay, so let's compare this strategy to some of the other bot strategies that I've been testing. So the major drawback of Bitsgap is that they charge a monthly fee, and it's not super cheap to use Bitsgap. So I wanted to test Bitsgap against something free like KuCoin. So what I did is I basically went into KuCoin and I did my best to try to replicate all the exact settings that I use on Bitsgap for my Ghost Tiger strategy on KuCoin. And I couldn't do it exactly the same on KuCoin because it was missing some of the features that Bitsgap has, but I would say I got about 90% there. It's about 90% the same as the strategy I'm using on Bitsgap. And after 1 month with KuCoin's bot and a deposit of $5,000 initially, I ended up losing money with a total loss of $400.14. And for me, the bad results month 1 wasn't really a big deal just because 1 month of testing isn't really a great indicator of how well a certain strategy will do over a longer period of time. Fast forward to today, and I've been running this strategy for about 4 months now. And after 4 months of using KuCoin's grid bot, with the settings about 90% the same as the Ghost Tiger strategy on Bitsgap, I still ended up taking a loss of $156 total. And I feel like based on these results, it does seem clear that Bitsgap's algorithm, or the secret sauce under the hood that Bitsgap is using, is unique in some way, and it's able to get a little bit better results, it seems, than something like KuCoin, which is a free bot. I'm still interested to see what happens given more time, so we'll let this bot keep running and see what happens in a couple months. Next up is Stoic, and this is a completely different type of bot strategy. Stoic is an AI-based strategy, and when I say AI, they don't just use that as a buzzword, but actually have some really neat machine learning coupled with data science that goes into this whole thing. And they've been working on perfecting this data science and this machine learning since 2015. I tested this bot during the bull run and I got insane good results. However, that was during the bull run, and obviously today it's a much different market environment, so I've been really curious how well Stoic would perform during a bear market, during a market when things weren't going so well. In month 1 of using Stoic, it actually did really good. I initially deposited $5,020, and month 1 made $411, or 8% in a single month, which put it up there with some of the best performing strategies I've ever tried. However, month 2 was much different. At the end of month 2, total in my account, I had $3,890, which means I took a loss of $1,130, or about -22%. And this is another great example of why just 1 month of results isn't super reliable and not always a great indicator of future performance for any given experiment. I'm gonna keep Stoic going, but it's not looking good for this strategy so far. Last up is Astrobit's Cinnamon Toast bot. Astrobit is like a marketplace for bots, and Cinnamon Toast is actually a strategy created by a third party and then listed on their marketplace. It came highly recommended, so I decided to test it out. I initially put into this strategy $1,271, and today, 2.5 weeks later, I have $1,239, or a loss of $32, which all things considered isn't bad at all. It's been a really rough 2.5 weeks for crypto. At the time of recording, pretty much everything is currently down, and I'm actually surprised that this strategy isn't down more. And I'm super interested to see how the strategy ends up holding up given a couple months of testing. And that's it, and I'm excited to see if any of these other strategies end up eventually pulling through and turning around and becoming a great strategy over time. If you have a recommendation on a strategy you think I should try out, let me know in the comments below. And as always, none of this is investment advice. You can always lose money with any of these strategies, and this is just me running experiments and documenting my results. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it if you want to be notified each time I release a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.